In this lesson, we'll do a little bit of work on the rear end of the car. So here we are in the rear end. The first thing I want to do is kind of fill in this gap. So I'm going to go ahead and add an edge loop right along there, and then take these points and match them up. So I'll go ahead and hold down V to snap to points, and I'll snap these to the points on that engine. Right in here, and also right up here. Let's get that snapped to this point right down here. There we go. Alright, and now let's go ahead and grab these, basically these three faces right here. Let's extrude those in. Okay. Extrude those in. Let's extrude again, just to get a nice little rim there to hold the line. And then we'll extrude and push this straight back. Okay. And then we'll extract this, and we'll kind of do the same procedure that we've done before. I'm going to go ahead and insert some edge loops, like so. And let's go ahead and grab these and extrude them out. And one more time. And then let's delete the faces on the sides, or over there, and also over on this side. Okay, and we'll insert an edge loop along here, along there, and down at the bottom. And let's center the pivot and scale this out a bit, and so we have kind of an interesting shape in there. Alright. Let's go ahead and add some resolution in here by coming across just like that. I'll sharpen up that corner and give us a little bit more resolution to work with down at the bottom here. And let's do the same thing down here. Okay, now I'm going to take this line and move it up just a little bit to make an angle there. Going to pull that up and then pull these so that they're sort of straight in line with that. Okay. And then let's take these faces right here and push those in a bit. So I'll extrude those and push them straight in. Right in there. You can now take these faces down at the bottom and get rid of those. Okay, we can merge these points together. So just these corresponding points right along here. You might have to bump up your distance a little bit. So go ahead and put in a 10 value just to make sure that these are all merged together. And add that in there. So then we've got a nice little shape inside there. Alright, and let's delete that inner face right there. So now, let's see, we want to add some sort of exhaust in here. So let's first take a selection of faces. Let's go ahead and take these faces here. Okay. And we want to extrude this all together as a whole because it's spanning both sides. So what I usually like to do is go ahead and, in this case, mirror the geometry Okay. And I'll just do a quick check and make sure nothing is accidentally merged. And this will allow me to go ahead, select the faces all the way across rather than trying to do it halfway, because the extrusion we want to happen across the entire piece. So we'll go ahead and choose those and extrude those in, something along those lines. Okay. And now let's go ahead and start to build our exhaust. So I want to have a kind of 3 sections here, and I don't want them to be that different as far as the shape goes. So what I want to do is move this line basically over here. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of delete these edges. I'll put the line where I want it to be, kind of right in there, right in there. Go ahead and select edge loop, my edge loop tool, making sure to not select anything. I had that edge loop already selected. Go ahead and delete that, and then I'll reconnect these back up, back to that new edge loop that I just created. So now it's in a little bit better position. Okay, although I can go in and kind of straighten this up a little bit if I want to. So go in there. And now I can start to take some of these shapes and create the exhaust out of it. So I'm going to take this whole thing first and move it back. So go ahead and extrude that. And we'll go straight back. Okay, start there. And then we'll just go one more time and go straight back. And one more. Alright, and now we want to create those shapes. So I'll bring this guy straight out. Okay, and out again. And you can have it extending out from underneath here if you want to. And out again. And then we'll create the interior of that by extruding that in like so. And then just pushing it back into there. And then to create that tightness, we can come in there and add some edge loops. And so you can see you get that kind of a tube there. We can do the same thing over on this side and the other side as well. So I'm going to select not only these faces, but these as well, so that whatever I do, I can kind of do at the same time over on that side. So go ahead and extrude those, pull them out just slightly, extrude again, and again, extrude again, and this time pull in that thickness there. And extrude again and push it in. And one more time. Make sure you grab the translate handle rather than the scale. Alright. And then you can tighten up those edges as well, just like we did the other one, just by inserting some edge loops. Alright. So we might want to pull this. You can see this is okay, but this part we want to pull out a little bit. So got kind of lost inside there. So we can find our vertices there. Kind of scale those out and move them in, just to do a little bit of fixing here. Okay, so something like that. And then take this corner piece. So you might have to do a little bit of tweaking if you're going to do your extrusions all together like that. Sometimes things can get a little bit off. I'll pull that out. And there you can start to see it looks a little bit better. Now I'm going to pull out a center section of this guy. So I want this to be not really a functioning exhaust there. So go ahead and extrude that in. We'll scale that in. And just bring that straight out. So you can see you can do a lot with just simple extrusions. Extrude this guy out here and then scale that front face in. So something kind of like that. And you can add some little pieces inside there if you want, some little vent pieces or whatnot. You can also take this back end and take these edges and extrude them in so you've got thickness here. Okay, so you can feel free to do that. I also want to kind of add a line here for sort of a some kind of a panel here. So I'm going to take where I want the corner of the panel to be. It's up here on the top. I'm just going to kind of shape it a little bit. And I'll go ahead and kind of select those edges, and we'll let's come, instead of coming down here, let's come just kind of up at the top here. So I'll make sure and deselect any of these other edges. And now I'm just going to do a quick bevel. Okay, I'm going to change that offset way down to something like maybe 0.02, 0.01. Okay. Change my segments to 2. And then I can come in here and select edge loop. I want to select that, just that interior line that I created. Okay, so just the middle one. And this one, just all the way around. And down here. Got to get in tight so that you can select that. You've got so much geometry so close. Okay, so now I'm just going to move it down and in so that you get that sort of a panel look there. Okay, and if you want to, you could have added, rather than just one division, you could have a couple more so that you have edges on the outside holding that. And that would make that, just if you wanted it to be a little bit sharper. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and in the next lesson start to just look around and add some finishing touches and look at some ways we can clean up some of the geometry on the bottom, and generally just finish up some of the modeling of the car so that we can get to adding some of the paint and some of the texture work. So we'll go ahead and do that next.